Monday, there was no endurance training. Bit of sauna, bit of stretching, but no run, no bike, no swim. So breakfast on a Monday is coffee. On a Tuesday, 1 hour swim, 1 hour bike. Bagel for breakfast. Wednesday, 1 hour gym, 1 hour run. Breakfast is oats and protein. Today though is Thursday. Things go up a notch on Thursday. 1 hour in the gym, already done it. 2 hours on the bike later on, straight into a 1 hour run, a brick session, and a full day in the office to pay the bills. A very busy day, but not a tough day. Weekend just gone. New experience for me, running with others. I don't normally do it, with one very important exception. But on Saturday I ran Nuclear Race 7k OCR event with Jenna and my eldest son George, and I've got to say, nuclear races are absolutely kicking the industry's arse at the moment when it comes to putting on events during COVID. I've just had yet another 10k trail run, just a straightforward trail run, cancelled for a couple of weeks' time, and yet Nuclear are able to put on a full obstacle course event with complete compliance to all the rules and regulations, irrespective of how weird stroke daft some of those rules and regulations are, and create just an absolutely awesome day out. Jen and George loved it. What's not to love? Throwing yourself into a frozen lake in the middle of October and then running across a muddy field. Brilliant. And then the next day, on the Sunday, I did the London Virtual Marathon with my brother James. He had the official London entry and I just went along to pace him. We ran off-road because why not? And I took the dog because obviously. James ran for a cancer charity, Kids with Cancer, raised hundreds of pounds. I'll stick a link down below. I flew the drone around a field and still kept up with him the whole time. So 2 heroes running that day. Was it easy to do the marathon after the obstacle course event? No. Was it tough? Absolutely not. Okay, so 20 minutes and I'm on the bike for the start of this brick session. Just time to explain what's coming up this weekend. Saturday, I had a 4-hour bike and a 40-minute run, and Sunday, a 2-hour 50-minute run and a swim. I could not face doing 4 hours on the bike in here. So a series of events occurred that have led me down a different path. I went onto the Trainer Road app and it lets you switch from indoors to outdoors. So I switched to Trainer Road outdoors. It then told me I needed to do 6 hours outdoors because it's easier than indoors. Says who? I figured at 30 kilometers per hour, that's 180 kilometers total, or 111 miles. Let's round it down, 100 sounds fine. I checked how far the sea is from my house at the nearest point. Pretty much exactly 50 miles. Assuming I want to come back again, 100 miles. I'm going to the seaside and back, and that will be boring as hell for 6 hours. So to solve that problem, I bought these. Garmin Vector 3 power meter pedals, so I can attach these to the bike and then on my Garmin head unit monitor my wattage output, which will entertain me the entire time. Of course it is possible it won't alleviate all the boredom. You don't say. So why is this not tough? Why is the Nuclear Race and marathon back to back not tough? The session today not tough? The 100-mile ride to the seaside not tough? I'll tell you why. I should add, it's not easy, but it's not tough. It's all relative. So any challenge that you face, whether it's going from a couch to 5K, doing an Ironman, or something more serious like getting a divorce or losing a job, all those things go on your scale of toughness. But where they sit on here relative to the top of your scale, and what sets that high bar, that's relative to your life experience. And if you allow yourself and you're able to take things that have happened to you or you've seen and use them positively going forwards. They say that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and that is almost certainly nonsense. I'm not a doctor, but it just doesn't sound like it can possibly be true for many things. But it does let you set this tough level higher than it was before, because you now know something else you can actually overcome. I try really hard not to block out and ignore the negative things that have happened to me. They have happened, I cannot change that. But what I am in control of doing is how I use the memory of those things and whether I let them reset my assessment of what is truly tough in life. When my kids were young and they were going to get their injections, their vaccine jabs from the nurse, they'd be sat in the waiting room with me, they'd be saying, "Dad, how much is it going to hurt? How much is it going to hurt?" So I'd flick them hard in the arm. This is not a parenting channel. And I'd say, "Not as bad as that." And their fear is gone because they now know where their bar is set, and they know that what they're going to experience will fall inside of that. They can overcome it, they just have overcome something worse. They'd also be told, if you don't flinch and say, "Is that all you got?" they got an extra £5. Again, not a parenting channel. What's my point? My point is this. My bar has been set high. I am not here. I have an extension on this. I've only got one piece of paper. Imagine it. It's up here somewhere. My bar has been set through the roof. Over 30 years ago, watching my brother, who ran that marathon the other day, go through at the age of 11 and beat Hodgkin's lymphoma, cancer. It then came back when he was 14, so he had to beat it again. That was my flick on the arm, only it was done with a baseball bat to the head. Watching him go through that and my parents go through that with him is, to this day, incomprehensible to me as to how they overcame it. And as I got older and started to get my own metaphorical jabs on the arm in the form of whatever challenges life threw at me, and I've had a few, I didn't flinch. I had seen tough, and it wasn't those things that were happening to me then. Divorce, rubbish jobs, trying to lose weight, all those things, they're all on the scale of tough. They're not tough. I find myself feeling sorry for myself, thinking, "Oh my goodness, I can't go on." And I'd remind myself what I'd seen an 11-year-old go through and overcome, and feel, quite frankly, embarrassed that I was being so wallowing in self-pity, pull myself together and get on with it. Tough is not training for an Ironman. It is not anything I do in here at all. This is fun. Someone said to me a while ago when I did stand-up comedy, "That must be the toughest thing anybody can do." I thought, seriously? You either have an incredibly charmed life thus far or zero imagination if you think that's as tough as it can possibly get. So, 33 years ago, my brother set my tough scale stupidly high to the point that it's allowed me to overcome all manner of things that I've encountered during my life. Not a lot really strikes me as genuinely tough whenever I am on the verge of a new challenge or encountering a problem or unsure if I can go on. I draw on my extension to the tough scale and I remind myself, yeah, I can, because these things aren't actually tough. I have seen tough, and it is as scary as hell, and I've not seen anything quite so bad since. So it seemed only fitting that the least I could do is grab a camera and jog along beside him while he ran that marathon. I'll stick a link to his charity in the description below, so check that out. Although, sub first. Kidding, charity, then, you know, kids before subs. But seriously, sub, because I carried the drone like the whole way.